Hello FPLers and welcome back to the FPL crypto channel. This video is the Game Week 5 watch list. It is the international break still. I hope you guys are all looking forward to the return of FPL action this weekend, as am I. I am really excited to get going again. More so because of Game Week 4. It was more red arrows for me, unfortunately. In this video, I'm going to do a quick recap of my Game Week 4 results, player by player. It was a Game Week rank of 4.1 million. Not great at all. I took a hit also. 52 points scored, which was minus 448. So 9 points beneath the average of 57. Not great at all. But I'm staying positive. I have to. That's all I can do. This is the way we're going to do it. We're going to do a quick recap of the Game Week 4 results. And what I do is I like to add and remove players to my watch list of potential transfers. I've been making this watch list now for the last 4 game weeks. And I like to add and remove players after I watch some of the games. I didn't get to see all the games live in Game Week 4. I watched all the highlights though. So I have a fair idea of who the standout performers were. And I've also made a transfer already, which kind of breaks the rule of an international break. There's lots of injuries that kind of pop up, and it can create problems for your FPL teams during this period. But unfortunately, we'll talk about my transfer later. So, summary of Game Week 4 first. Then we're going to look at the crazy predictions. So every week I like to ask you guys to get into the comment section and write up some sort of crazy kind of dilemma or something that will happen in the week. So looking forward to hearing what your predictions are for Game Week 5. Last week I said that there was going to be the high scoring player in Game Week 4 will be defender. That turned out not to be the case. Even though there was some big scores in there from defenders, it ended up, I think it was Jimmy Vardy was the highest scorer on 16 points along with Aguero. So that didn't come through. But the person who had the closest to a prediction result, the crazy prediction was Sam21G1. His crazy prediction was Tammy Abraham to get 2 goal contributions and Mount to continue his scoring streak. So he got it semi-right. I mean, obviously, Mason Mount didn't get any returns, but Tammy Abraham certainly did. He grabbed 2 goals. So, well done, Sam. That's a good shout there. So let's hear what you got for this week. Pop them all in the comment section. I'll reveal my one later on too. So, Game Week 4, 52 points as I said. Let's take a look at the squad and how they perform. So Pope, I wasn't expecting too much from Nick Pope, I'll be honest. He was at home, but he was playing Liverpool. So you're not going to expect a clean sheet against Liverpool, whether it's home and away. He picked up one save point to counteract his -1 for 2 goals conceded. So 2 points all in all. That's fire enough for Nick Pope. He'll have his day. Lucas Digne got an assist, which was great because he lost his clean sheet points. He grabbed that assist towards the end of the Wolves game. So happy to get 5 points out of Lucas Digne. I think he's 28.9% owned now. 6.1. I think he's going to go up to 6.2 million soon. Great to have him. Virgil van Dijk then. Okay, he got the clean sheet and 1 bonus point. So 7 points scored, which was nice. Newcastle at home next too. So happy with Virgil's returns. Now Laporte. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. 6.5 million is what you pay. That's the premium you pay for the nailed on defender in Man City team, who was Laporte. And unfortunately, things just don't go your way sometimes in FPL, and this is like an Exhibit A example. So he got his yellow card around the 30th minute and then hobbled off. Well, it was stretchered off with a horrific injury to his knee, so he didn't even get his over 60 minutes. He got 0 points. That's all in all what happened. It looks like the injury is going to keep him out of action for maybe at least 3 months. Could be longer, could be a little less, but it's a nasty one. And unfortunate for me, obviously not as unfortunate for the player himself who got injured. But 0 points from Laporte, and it would have been a clean sheet too because Man City bet Brighton 4-0. But you have to take the rough with the smooth. This one didn't go my way. Luck tends to balance itself out as the season progresses unless you're unbelievably unlucky. So Laporte is a goner, unfortunately. Lundstrom then got his 1 point. 2-2 draw with Chelsea. Did well to come back, Sheffield United, and grab that point. But 1 point for Lundstrom. That's fair enough. He's 4.2 million. You can't expect too much from him. Good fixture next, home to Southampton. So I might play him again that week. Sterling then, captaincy choices so I rotate Sterling and Salah. If you've watched before, they were my two captains for the first 10 game weeks, and I've decided to rotate them based on the easier fixture each game week. Look at this, 20 points game week 1 for Sterling, and I captain Salah for 12 points. Game week 2, what did I do? I captained Sterling in game week 2 and got a 6 points, so that was fine. Game week 3, Sterling had 8 points and Salah had 15, and I captained Sterling. So the wrong side of the captaincy again in game week 3. And in game week 4, I go with Sterling based on his fixture. I went with Sterling instead of Salah, who had 6 points. So Salah would have been the captaincy for me. Obviously, Aguero was the captain to have last week with his 16-point haul. But for me, I just got it wrong once again. It's difficult. It's the most important decision you'll make every week, and if you get it wrong, it can have detrimental effects to your overall rank. So Laporte's injury and a captaincy fail is probably what's let me down in game week 4. But I'm not going to get too worried about it. De Bruyne then, 13 points. He was the hero. 1 goal, 1 assist. He's in tremendous form. I think Belgium they were playing Scotland tonight, and he got 3 assists and a goal. So even on international duty, he has continued his great current form. He started the season hot, Kevin De Bruyne. I'm very happy to own him. He's 9.8 million now, so he's risen 0.3 million since game week 1. As a lot of people jump on board. Kevin De Bruyne, KDB did well. He was my standout performer for the week. Mason Mount then, it was just a blank. He is still getting his opportunities. I'm happy with him. He just didn't get any returns against Sheffield United. Tammy grabbed them all. Josh King's a problem for me. I know that Bournemouth have nice fixtures, but he doesn't really get many opportunities to score as far as I can see. I mean, Callum Wilson is obviously the preferred player in the Bournemouth attacking team, or attacking side of things. Fixtures look good for them, though. They look okay. I mean, it's a problem that I can't immediately solve, which I'll talk about later. But Josh King is a worry for me at the moment. Sebastian Haller, very happy with his opening returns for my FPL team. He got his goal against Norwich, and he got some bonus points to boot, which was great. He also has a nice fixture coming up against Villa away next. Haller he actually should have had a penalty too if you watched that game. I feel like he had a stonewall penalty. VAR let him down. So very happy to have Sebastian Haller, and a great debut for him in game week 4 for my team. Then the bench was consisting of Greenwood, who came on for a cameo. I was considering starting Greenwood in place of Lundstrom, because there was rumours that he may start as Martial was injured for United. As it was, he stayed on the bench and came on towards the end, so I didn't miss out too much. I didn't miss out in a haul from him or anything, so I got the benching decision right this week. Then Donker got 2 points and played the 90 minutes, so that was okay. Well, that was an interesting one actually. That Wolves game, I sold Jota last week for a -4 to get in Sebastian Haller along with Mason Mount. Jota didn't even start the game in game week 4 against Everton. He started on the bench because of the Europa League fixture congestion that they have a little bit at Wolves. They are going to rotate some players, so I got away with that one. I'm happy with my transfers last week. They actually averaged out 0 points, so Haller's goal helped justify my -4 last week. Can't be too disappointed with the result there. Montoya then was locked deep in the bench, and it was because of that City fixture. I was never going to play a Brighton player if I didn't have to. Conceded 2 goals. That's -2 points. 0 points for Montoya. Still think he's a great valuable player to have, a 4.5. So he will be utilised going forward. Right, that was it for game week 4. The thing is, when these international breaks come along, you have 2 weeks and you're staring at your result from the week before. If it's not a positive one, it can really get you down. And this wasn't a good week for me. It was close to being an okay week. Laporte's injury kind of threw me off a little bit. Could have been on around 60 points if it wasn't for that. Anyway, not to worry. Let's move onwards and upwards. Let's talk about our watch list now. So I'll go through each game individually and add and remove players. Actually, in fact, this week I'm just going to go into my watch list first, and I'm going to remove some players. So, watch list. In here, I have Nathan Redmond, who needs to go because he is not well, he's due back at the end of September, but I'm just not interested at the moment. So I'm going to remove Nathan Redmond from the watch list. I'm also going to remove Zaha because I just think he's a yellow card magnet. He's getting marked out of every game he's played so far, and I just don't think I'm going to buy him. Not at that price, not the way Palace are playing. They're just not going to score many goals. So Zaha's coming off my watch list. I'm going to take Oliver Norwood off too. Being that I don't think I'm going to spend 5 million on him. He hasn't. Okay, he takes his set pieces and he does create some chances and takes some corners, but I don't think I'm going to be putting a Sheffield United midfielder in my team anytime soon. So I'm removing him from my watch list. What about Andre Gray? Actually, I'm going to take Andre Gray off because Watford have been terrible. I really don't want to have to come. I hope it doesn't come down for me having to go for a Watford striker anytime soon, or I'm in real trouble. So, game week 4 then. Southampton against Man United. One player that stood out amongst all of the United team players was Daniel James. That is now 3 goals this season, ticking along nicely. He's starting to. Martial's got an injury, so there is a good chance that Daniel James will maintain his position in the squad for the foreseeable future. Leicester at home, West Ham United away, game week 5, game week 6. Lovely run between game week 10 and 15 for Manchester United, so that's around the time you should really be thinking of getting 1 or 2 players in. Also dependent on their own form. I hope they sort the problems out. Being a United fan, I really hope they sort the problems out defensively and offensively very soon, because we're falling behind already from the top 4 race. Daniel James had 11 penalty area touches in the last game week. That's the most out of any FPL player. He had 5 shots on goal too, so he's really getting in amongst it. Adding to watch list, Daniel James, 6.1, really good value for a Manchester United forward player. And I think he's going to become a very popular choice if he continues in the same vein. No one from Southampton. I mean, Vestergaard got his goal. He's massive. He's like 8 foot or something. He really powered that header in. It's just the 5 million price tag. I don't think I can pay that. He's gonna absolutely clean up on the bonus points though. Look at game week 3. He took the 3 bonus points home with the clean sheet, and obviously got the 3 bonus points against United because of that goal he scored. Not for me at 5 million right now, because I just don't know if that's a price I'm willing to pay for a defender for Southampton at the moment. But yeah, it might change going further down the line if they shore up a little at the back. Let's look at Chelsea against Sheffield United. Obviously, Tammy Abraham is just taking along really nicely, and that's his second double-digit haul in a row. I already have him on the watch list. He's 7.2 million, so maybe if Haller goes cold, he's a direct replacement for me. The one player I will add is Sheffield United's Callum Robinson, Irish international. He has a little bit of an injury. Well, actually, he played it. I don't know why this flag is there, because he did play for the Republic of Ireland in the previous qualifier, so he should be fine. He got 11 goals. He's been knocking on the door a little while. Those 2 early substitutions, game week 2, game week 3, are worrying, because you want your players to play at least 60 minutes in every game week. You don't want that kind of worry, that burden over you every time he starts, that he might get pulled off early. But he did get his goal and assist against Chelsea. It's just, this is the way FPL is. If you look at those 4 games and someone asks you which one will Callum Robinson end up scoring or getting a double-digit haul against, Chelsea would have been the last one you would have chose as his game. Bournemouth away probably would have been the one he would have done well in. But as it is, he's got his 11 points against Chelsea. He had 2 big chances in that game. He took one of them and he looked very sharp. So adding to watch list, Callum Robinson, 5.3 million too. I know I said I didn't want a Sheffield United player in my team, but a midfielder in my team, but he's a midfielder that's playing out of position as a striker. So this is a different case for me. He's added. He's in. What happened there? Permission denied. Why did that say that? Oh, I just got signed out for some reason. Okay, we're back in. Okay, Sorry about that. Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. There's nobody I want to add. I don't think. I think Ayev is a trap. Okay, he's in good form. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. I don't rate him too highly, so he's not going to be added to the watch list for me. Personal preference. 5.1. He's dirt cheap, but not for me. Maybe Milivojevic. From what I saw in the game, he had a couple of attempts on target. He does look dangerous. He is on penalties. Palace got a ridiculous amount of penalties last season. They haven't had one yet this year. But Milivojevic will be the one to set up, and he's very, very good from the spot. He had 12 goals last season. I think at least 7 or 8 of them were penalties. Do you know what? I'll add 6.8 million. The price is probably too much. I mean, I don't think I'm going to pay that for a Crystal Palace midfielder who's not Salah. But I'm going to add him in anyway and watch him for a little while. So there you go. I have a Palace player on my watch list now. Leicester City against Bournemouth. I just sold Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser in the last 2 game weeks, so I was delighted to see them get a goal and assist. That was sarcastic, by the way. Vardy got his 3 points, 3 bonus points because of that haul. He got a goal, 2 goals and an assist, so no surprise there. Vardy is going on to the watch list. 8.9 million, so he's dropped in price because of those 2 early blanks, game week 1, game week 2. But he's a form player. When he starts scoring, he tends to continue to train and score game week after game week. Confidence player, 8.9 million. Fixtures aren't great, 5 and 6, but then there's a nice little green patch coming up for Leicester, and they seem to just be getting out of first gear and gradually increasing and bettering their performances as the game weeks progress. So I will own some Leicester players as this season goes along because they have great value in there. The Tielemans, Vardy's, Perez obviously hasn't started well, but will be good value eventually. And yeah, so Vardy's on the watch list. Nobody else I want to really add there. I have Harry Wilson on there for Bournemouth from the previous week. Man City. Okay, so I have 2 Man City players. Well, 3. According to you guys, Laporte is still on my team. He's not, obviously. I've sold him, but he was on my team. Aguero is not on my watch list, and I don't know why. On you go. 16 points, 2nd double-digit haul in a row, becoming a real good captaincy option with Jesus' absence. And even though the fixtures are looking good for the foreseeable future, it doesn't really matter when it comes to Aguero. He can perform equally against very difficult top 4 opponents and non-top 6 teams. He just has a habit of performing in the big games also. So he's a great captaincy option for every week. He's 12.1 million though, and it's very hard to have more than 3 premium players in your team. At the same time, I have a wild card in my bag, so you never know. I could be utilised soon enough, and Aguero would be my prime number 1 candidate to come in as my captain option. So he's on the watch list for now. There's no one else there really from... Well, I have Trossard on my watch list already for Brighton. Oh, we have to talk about Otamendi. Because of Laporte's injury, there is a good chance that Nicolas Otamendi will be the starter that Pep Guardiola calls upon for the next few months, and he's only 5.4 million. He has a history in FPL for being quite good going forward. If we go back to 2017, 2018, you'll see, let's get that back. You'll see he got 4 goals to accommodate the 15 clean sheets that season. Obviously wasn't a starter last year, so he didn't really have as many opportunities, but this year it might be different. So I'm going to add him to the watch list. I think a lot of people are using him as a direct replacement for Laporte. If you have that injury problem, that's a good idea. I haven't. Maybe in hindsight I should have, but I didn't. I was more hasty with my transfer, and I'll explain why later. So, Otamendi's on my watch list. Newcastle against Watford. I don't want any Watford players on my watch list. Not interested at the moment. Just not good, not at the races, and they've lost their manager this week, so they are managerless and looking a little helpless. I think Fabian Schär needs to go on the watch list. Again, it's the Vestergaard issue. Do you want to pay 5 million for a defender who's with Newcastle? Maybe not. But he does have a knack for scoring goals. He had 4 goals and 1 assist last season, and that was only from 2,000 minutes played. So he didn't play for most of the season. And this year he's already off the mark. Got his goal against Watford. He got a goal for his international team as well, Switzerland, during the week. He really has a good tendency to get forward, and he likes to take a shot too from close range and from having a pop from outside the box. So it's always nice to see out a defender. I'm going to add him to the watch list for the laugh. I mean, I'm not seriously considering him for any time soon, but he might just turn a rich vein of form together and become an option in the next few game weeks. You never know. I've made some stranger transfers in my past history in FPL, so can't rule him out altogether. So Newcastle against Watford, that was that. Don't really see anybody else's potential for FPL. West Ham against Norwich. Go on, Sebastian Haller. So happy with that goal. I think Masuaku has to go on. Because of his advanced positioning on the left wing, he really does play like the new age wing back. Gets really well forward. Got a great assist too for the Haller goal with the cross. So I'm going to add him to the watch list. He's 4.5 million, so that's kind of more justifiable than 5, especially for a team like West Ham. Fixtures aren't amazing, but they do have little patches within the season where they get nice and green. So has to be considered. Maybe too early for him, but definitely one to watch. Yarmolenko then. Yarmolenko started last season really brightly, and we just forgot about him. Obviously because he got injured badly and was out until game week 2 this season. But he is a sharp player and can score and produce a lot of goal involvement. So I'm going to add him to the watch list. He took his goal really well last game week against Norwich. Still getting back to fitness, as you can see. Minutes played for game week 2, 3, 4. Steadily gaining more fitness and playing more getting more game time. So hopefully he nails a few 90 minutes under his belt first before I'd seriously consider him. But he's 5.9 million and is a nice route, a differential route at that, into this West Ham midfield. 0.2% ownership. Yarmolenko. Okay, so that's 2 players from West Ham. I've added Burnley against Liverpool then. I don't know what it is about Bobby Firmino. We all know he's a top class striker. Actually, I do know what it is. I don't think I've ever owned him in FPL. Even though he ticks along nicely, always seems to get a couple of points here and there. Nothing hugely dramatic. Like, he doesn't come with massive hauls at any point or any moment, but he does seem to tick along. 12 points he got against Burnley. He was the man of the match. The reason probably I don't consider him too much is the type of player he is. He's kind of like he's not a traditional number 9. And I feel like he doesn't really get as many opportunities as he creates with his kind of movement to create space for other players and his laying up and stuff like that. So that's probably why I don't consider him. I have a little bit of a bias from previous seasons, just never really got into him. The other part of it too is that Salah and Mane are so good and are just consistent performers week in, week out. So it's kind of hard to justify 9.5 million when you're coughing up 11.5 or 12.5 for a Mane or a Salah. But definitely has to be added to the watch list, and I might have to change my attitude soon. If he continues to produce like he did against Burnley, he was great. Anyone else from that game? No. Some stats for Bobby in the last game week. So he had 6 goal attempts in that game. That was joint top amongst all FPL forwards in game week 4. So really impressive stuff by the Brazilian. Everton against Wolverhampton. 3-2 that one finished up. Who said that Everton couldn't score goals? They really struggled for the first 3 game weeks, but came alive in this game. Dodgy Wolves defending was something to do with that too. Richarlison got 2 goals, and he's another confidence player, a little like a Jamie Vardy. He needs goals to kind of bring it out of himself, bring his ability out. And he can go, he's streaky too, so he could go on a nice run now that he has that confidence building. 15 points, 2 goals scored against Wolves. Have to kind of add him to the watch list for that reason. He's 7.9. He is expensive. I've just dropped to my two of my Everton players in the last 3 game weeks, so I don't know if I can go there again, but I definitely should be considering him if he continues like this. There's no one else I really want to add. Wolves are having issues now with Europa League. I feel it's kind of become apparent in their performance, so I'm going to stay away from them for the moment. Arsenal against Spurs then was the last game, the last fixture of the game week. North London derby was an exciting one too, and I'm going to have to start adding some Arsenal players to my watch list, starting with Nicolas Pepe. And the reason being is this: look at that, they've got those difficult openers out of the way, and it's looking good for them for the next while. I feel like we should be looking to take stock in Arsenal FPL assets soon. Nicolas Pepe hasn't really produced many points yet, but he's knocking on the door. He had 7 goal attempts in game week 4. That was top for all midfielders in FPL. Adding to watch list, Nicolas Pepe, 9.4 million. Still don't know how I'd get to him without a wild card, to be honest. It would mean getting rid of a KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, which I'm not willing to do at the moment. But fixtures are good for Arsenal. Pepe is added on. I already have Ceballos on my watch list. He didn't play in this game. Well, maybe he did, but you can't even see him here in the bonus point system. So obviously didn't perform very well. I think Guendouzi is a trap. I know he's only 4.5 million, but I just don't see him getting many returns this season. I'm not going to add him to my watch list because I'm not interested. If I was going to get a player, it would be either Nicolas Pepe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who's just an out-and-out goal scorer at 11 million. He's already on my watch list. Or Lacazette. Now, he has a hamstring injury apparently. Don't know how serious that is. But 9.4 million. He had 5 goal attempts in the game against Spurs, which was, I think, joint second amongst FPL forwards. So really getting his chances. 13 goals, 12 assists last season. There's rotation worries when it comes to Lacazette, Aubameyang and Pepe. I feel like the strongest lineup for Arsenal would consist of all 3. But I don't know. It can surprise you. So I don't know. It's a strange one. I think Lacazette's probably the player I'd go for at 9.4 million ahead of even Aubameyang at the moment, because he's got low ownership, and I feel like he's posting good stats too. So I'm going to keep an eye on him for a while, and I feel like 9.4 million is a more realistic way for me to get to an Arsenal player as opposed to popping at 11 million for Aubameyang. That being said, Aubameyang's a great captaincy option, and Lacazette may not be so much so. So I don't know. I have a few things to think about, but Lacazette's going to be monitored very, very closely for the next couple of game weeks at least. I'll be looking at game week 8 onwards to maybe get an Arsenal player in, maybe even earlier than that. We'll see. So that pretty much completes the watch list for game week 5 onwards. So if we take a look at it now, so I'll go to my transfers. My watch list looks a bit like this. We go. Defenders, midfielders, and forwards. I thought I had a goalkeeper on there. I thought I had Tom Heaton on there. Maybe I removed him for some reason. But it's getting quite extensive now. I mean, I don't need to trim it down really, but there's about 30 or so players on that, all to be monitored, all good options. I like to take my transfers directly from my watch list, so you won't see me making a transfer from a player who's not on there already, and that's just like the knee-jerky antidote, I suppose you could call it, stopping me making rash transfer decisions. Only take players in you've been watching, or at least have seen play in the last couple of game weeks. Which brings me on to my transfer. You probably have seen it already. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I had a bit of money in the bank. When Laporte got injured, he was going to drop in price, and I needed to make a move, and I had in and around the correct money in the bank to make the Alexander-Arnold upgrade. Liverpool have Newcastle home next, and then they have a difficult fixture at Chelsea. But he's got 3 assists so far this season, Trent. At this stage of the season last year, he had nowhere near that amount of assists. Don't think he had any assists. Maybe he had 1. He's starting to trend in the right direction. I think he's going to beat his score of 185 points of last season. That's not even a bold prediction to make. I think it's inevitable that he'll do it. Liverpool haven't picked up any clean sheets really in the first 3 game weeks. They got one in game week 4, and I hope more will come. I've double Liverpool defence again after only getting rid of my double Liverpool D in game week 2. So back on them. Him and Van Dijk now partnering my defence, and I'm hoping to get more assist returns from Trent and some more clean sheets going forward. No other transfers then. Josh King is a problem, and if I had thought about it a little better and gave myself a bit more time, now don't get me wrong, I'm happy to own Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I think a more sensible decision may have been to downgrade Laporte to a 4.5 million defender, and then used the extra cash in the bank to have and hold for game week 6, looking at a Josh King upgrade, maybe for a Timu Pukki. That's an option I don't have now. And if I could go back and change time and rethink it, I may have put more consideration into downgrading Laporte to maybe a 5 million defender or a 4.5. Someone like a Maitland-Niles or a Soyuncu. But I didn't do it, and I can't have to suffer the consequences. Or maybe it'll turn out great and Alexander-Arnold will fly. It's not like I've downgraded in terms of quality. I've upgraded, if anything, from Laporte to Alexander-Arnold. So happy to stick with him, see how it goes, see how it flies for the next few game weeks. Starting off at Liverpool at home to Newcastle. I feel like that's got a clean sheet written all over it for Liverpool once Adrian doesn't do anything silly in goals. But this is where my team's set up. Pope in goals, Digne and Lundstram. Now Lundstram over Montoya. I feel obviously I could play Montoya, but then I'd be hoping for a 0-0 bore draw for Brighton and against Burnley, so I can get my clean sheet points for both Pope and Montoya. But I'm just going to go with Lundstram because he has the better attacking potential. He's had a few big chances in the opening game weeks and continues to start and play 90 minutes every game week. Keeping faith for him, I'm going to use him for game week 5 at home to Southampton. Arnold and Van Dijk double up Liverpool defence. I've already talked about that. Sterling, Salah, captaincy dilemma once again. I feel like I'm going to stick with fixture. Well, I don't know yet, but it's currently on Salah because of fixture. Home game as opposed to an away game for Sterling. But then again, Norwich allows so much space for their opponents, and that's what Sterling needs in order to get in behind defences and score goals. The worrying stat from last game week is that Sterling had no goal attempts. He had 0 goal attempts in the whole match, as opposed to Salah, who had at least 5 goal attempts against Burnley, and obviously got an assist too, so he didn't blank. I don't know. It'll go down to the wire on this one. I'll have to do a bit of thinking over it, but it will be either Salah or Sterling for me. Lots of other standout captaincy choices. If you own Aguero, I think you'd probably go there ahead of both Sterling and Salah. Even De Bruyne might be an option. I don't know. He played 68 minutes against Brighton. I think that's going to be that's going to be something that will happen to De Bruyne if Man City are winning and winning well. His fitness will be preserved and he'll be pulled off early. So yeah, you would need to be in amongst the points early on to gain from a Kevin De Bruyne captaincy. Obviously Mason Mount made his debut in my team game week 4. Didn't get any returns. Still think he's a great player. He's 6.4 million now. He's gone up 0.2 million since I bought him. 20% ownership too. Next to Tammy Abraham, I would say probably the 2 best Chelsea players to have. Fixtures get nice and cheerful from game week 7 onwards. They have Liverpool at home in game week 6. There's a little stumbling block, but Wolves away, and Wolves haven't been incredible at keeping clean sheets recently. Shipped 3 against Everton game week 4. Happy to hold on to Mount. Josh King then, as I said, is an issue. He got 1 goal in game week 2, and that was a penalty. He is on pens though, that is a bonus. He's 6.4, and he's losing ownership rapidly. He's down to he's nearly a differential now. If you play my 6 picks, you'll know that under 10% is a differential pick, and he is nearly there. 12 goals last season, just hasn't been doing it yet. But look, he's got probably 1 or 2 game weeks at least to prove himself in my team. So I'm going to hang tight for a little while longer. Hopefully he performs this week. And then Haller has a nice tasty fixture away to Villa. I'd be hoping for him to continue his good form, his goal scoring form that he's found in game week 3, game week 4, 7.5 now, 6% ownership. So people are copping on to this guy. He's a great striker, target man, Sebastian Haller. Matoya, Dundonker, Greenwood is the order of my bench. All of this is subject to change, as you know, as information seeps through. Still, the internationals are being played up until Wednesday. I'm recording this on Monday night here in Canada, so there could be more information to come out. Maybe more injury news, little niggles will be picked up here and there, fitness concerns. All should be revealed. You should monitor all the press conferences that will start to be underway on Thursday and Friday, before the kickoffs and deadline on Saturday. Where I stand at the moment in terms of overall rank, I'm 1.4 million, 224 points. Still a lot of FPL to do. Not too worried. Overall ranks can change quite dramatically in the opening few game weeks. Just a couple of good game weeks in a row to string together, and you'll be right up into the top 100,000. I'm just hoping it comes sooner rather than later for me, and that I get a bit of luck this game week in game week 5. Now, finally, I should reveal my crazy prediction of the week for game week 5. I am going to look at the United-Leicester game. United are at home, and I'm going to go against the grain. And I say against the grain because the most transferred out player this game week so far is Marcus Rashford. You'll see it here on the front splash page of fantasy.premierleague.com. Marcus Rashford has 243,000 or so transfers out this game week. He's still posting good stats. He's 8.5 million. He may drop to 8.4. My crazy prediction is that he is going to score at least once and maybe get a double-digit haul. When I say a double-digit haul, 10 plus points in his game week 5 fixture at home to Leicester. So that's my crazy prediction. Marcus Rashford to punish all those sellers, all those managers that have decided to dump him. And if you've decided to dump him, I mean, I can't argue too much about it. If you have a good replacement, he is 8.5 million and he's coming off 2 blanks. A little bit low in confidence at that too. He missed a penalty game week 3. But I am thinking that he's going to bounce back and bounce back well. Game week 5. Crazy prediction, Marcus Rashford to score double-digit haul. Get your own in the comment section. The best one, or the one that comes true, becomes the truth, or comes close to it, will be given a shout out in my next video, Game Week 6 watch list video. So, yeah, get thinking and pop something into the comments. The wackier and crazier, the better. That's pretty much it. I'm going to leave you with my team in its current state. Hoping to improve my rank. Good luck to you all for Game Week 5. I'll post my final team. No more transfers for me, hopefully. No hits going to be taken this week. And this is probably how I'm going to set up. Captaincy to be decided, though. I'll post my team in the community page of YouTube. You can check it out there. Look for it around Friday night, early Saturday morning. Take care. Good luck this game week. Any issues, any questions, pop them in the comments too. I'll get back to them as many as I can. Good luck. Take care, guys.